Welcome back to the Cryptic Kabal Monster Monday, Season 2, Session 26, A New Cold Year. The year is 65,008, the month of the Bloodied, which makes it May, and the day is the 15th. We return back after our compatriots had spent the last 5 months, not me counting in my head, December to May. The last 5 months at sea with really very little interaction or much to deal with after avoiding and skirting the distance of a ship full of clerics and anti-paladins, as the party would find out. However, last time we left off, to kind of take us back even before their bit of a 5-6 month journey, we jump back to the party having started session last with them deciding what to do, mostly with both the ship in a jar as well as coming together as a group to. I'm actually trying to remember because I remember that shit. Give me a minute. My brain's turned off suddenly. There we go. Yes. Having last session, having come together upon for breakfast, deciding what to do and deciding to sell the ship, the party came to a decision to get themselves cleaned up, split up for a bit, and dealt with a few personal matters. If I remember correctly, there wasn't all too much, I think, that happened in between you lot waiting for Goose. Oh, actually, no, I remember. As the party would go about their business, waiting for a ship that had been spotted that morning to get closer, those splitting up and going about their duties, Wara working the ship, using tar to cover up the ropes to keep the ice or the water from getting stuck and freezing the ropes anywhere, working alongside the crew who are moving about the sails to keep them not only wiggling when the wind had blown, but also to keep the ice off of them overall. The party managed to split themselves up with Vicaret going down below, finding themselves slightly obsessed with cheese and hungry after looking and trying to assist Dutes with a book, and Dutes spending most of the time while the captain got himself ready, figuring out what was different and what had changed about his book. As the party would go about each other, working or trying to figure out how and what was wrong with the book, Dude's going to each of the party members including Wara. One by one, they would learn little bits, but unfortunately nothing that would cement the party's knowledge on the item. With a new party member, an NPC joining temporarily, Raider, himself being from the deep below, even trying to offer a little bit of assistance, though unfortunately unable to do much else with the book besides point Dutes in the right direction after causing almost a natural weather phenomenon or unnatural weather phenomenon after speaking out in a strange language. While Dutes would try to seek out the captain's help afterwards, looking to see if he might know anything or see if the jar would, or the carboy with the ship inside would react or have any changes. The two would find themselves kind of seeing each other while not only the captain was bathing, but so too was Crump himself, where all was out there to be seen. Though, with that bit of a distraction, the two would notice quite quickly that the ship began to come almost alive as a small crew started dancing amongst the ship, the lights glowing, and the book beginning to react. Dude's deciding quite quickly at that point to return and retire back upstairs in a way to stop the reaction, while Azurus really still just didn't notice the situation or really cared or seemed concerned in the moment. The party would find themselves once more dealing with another enemy captain. As fourth ship, I believe now, or I think it was of the lot. As this new ship would appear, bearing the Golden Heart Merchant Company banner upon it, the quick thinking of Captain Azurus as well as Commander Dutes would see the two of them negotiating with a very hot-headed braggart-like individual named Goose, who Dutes would recall having met prior. Though, as the party seemed to be having, or Dutes himself seemed to be having issues, the party managed to keep their cool while dealing with Goose and convinced him to buy the item off of them, taking the ship in the bottle and alleviating them from whatever trouble that might cause. Meanwhile, down below the waves, Raider, alongside Wavescales and his crew, would find themselves cutting into the ship and taking all that they could, as they did. As the Goose would head off, Raider himself would come back aboard, and the party would, though, see a strange Yeti walking on the snow or walking on ice that he seemed to be creating, chasing after Goose's ship. They wouldn't really put much interest into it, as they instead focused back on their companionship of Wavescales and his crew upon the, I believe, and I'm just looking it up, the Single Blade ship. As that group would come above the waters and to divvy up the gear, the two parties, or the two groups, would split it up evenly and begin their flight, or their continued journey on the sea towards Knighton. To which we now return to the party, now having traveled those 5-6 months, roughly, since the last time they had seen and attacked or dealt with another crew. Having dealt with rough seas along the ways, the quietness of the open ocean, the surprising lack of sky pirates anywhere and everywhere as you lot continued your journey. As last 6 months have gone by, finally managing to make landfall, you find yourself seeing the small village of Knighton coming into almost what looks to be a natural cove for the water. A large dock has been set up, though, as you lot, after the 6 months of travel, having just the smell of the food cooking, baked goods on the air, the strong scent of cooking meat coming from every house. It is almost a grandiose vision to see, as you see these tiny houses made of cobblestones, tiny by giant standards, to clarify, as they look to still be almost 2 stories tall for 3 stories tall for a single level of a house. But many of the buildings seem lined and very simplistic in their designs. A few frost giants and kobolds going about. The docks themselves only with a few fishing boats, though large and open. There doesn't seem to be any other major ships docked beyond your own as you come into dock. The crew going about their duty as they kind of rope it or tie up the ship, get the anchor set, and begin to kind of unload and move things about. You lot find yourselves up on top of the deck. It's about mid-morning. The weather roughly in the really low 60s. A nice wind chill coming off of the a nice warmth coming off the northern wind from the ocean. You can see a light snow in the distance, and as you look on over the horizon, you can see the mountains of From Purser's Last Hold miles away that seem to still, even in this distance, protrude out as a massive spine onto the world, becoming almost in their own right fortresses as you look on them, dipping past the clouds. The thick forests on the outskirts of the town, still very heavy, and what looks to be one large, almost pasture that's been set up with a single barn-like building. Though, as you see amongst the pasture, there are what looks to be large, fluffy wolves running about, and large reddish boars walking through the fields, kind of relaxing and enjoying themselves, as a few giants amongst the group that are wearing heavy moss, carrying thicker white wood staves, go about their business, singing to the animals. The town itself looks to be quiet, small, and well snuggled up. A couple shops here and there that you can see in a single inn, where it looks like a lot of people seem to congregate as you lot kind of find yourselves on the top deck. No snow, the weather thankfully clear, as no snow seems to be hitting you, though the wind does keep a constant blow, keeping everything somewhat warmed. There doesn't seem to be any humidity as you lot kind of come above deck and begin to gather.
All right. Been a fine year sailing. It's been a minute since I've traveled the seas like this. But once we get to land, Dutes, as I promised, you will be taking over, leadership for at least this immediate grouping. My crew will still remain under my control.
That is fine. I got this terrible crick in my neck. I'm saying that out of character.
Oh,
man, what a 10,000 years give you such a crick in the neck.
I was picturing the camera panning to the side and it showing just Crump standing there and literally several party members aside from Azurus glaring at him when you say that.
I will say, yeah, at this point, Azurus dressed very well to the nines still in his fancier mercantile outfit. Crump himself also well dressed up and bathed and cleaned. Much of the crew has at this point bathed themselves prior to you guys making dock. Wave Scales and his crew, it's roughly expected about a day behind you guys. As you kind of look about, much of the trolls kind of looking and waiting for orders as they go about their business.
All right. As we make landfall, let's do our best not to make ourselves look like pirates. We are merchants selling high-end goods. Many nations don't like pirates, and I do not wish for any of my crew nor myself to find ourselves in chains by end of day. That being said, since we're getting close to land, I'm going to dispense your shares of gold today. First off, my crew of 20 trolls, each of you shall be taking 9,376.83 gold pieces.
9,000, okay.
Jesus Christ.
Alright.
My 3 specialists, which are Dutes, Wara, and the cook, shall be taking home 11,721 and 4 cents.
11,000 what?
11,721.04.
Okay. Got you. Karask is going to be a very wealthy Snowbeard.
My officers, which are Crump and Vicarette, will be grabbing 14,065.25 gold pieces.
Damn. I think Crump's richer than when he showed up.
You said it was 11,400.
11,721.04.
Thank you.
These are in gold pieces, so of course the 0.04 would attribute to
Silver.
whatever, silver, copper, however much.
And what was the number for officers? I'm sorry.
You got 14,065.25. So 14065.25.
Oh, okay. So I'm at.
And when I meet up with the wave scale ship, I have their cash aside. Do you want me to go ahead and read it off now?
Yeah, go ahead and send it to me. Or write it down. Mm-hmm.
The 10 kobolds will receive 6,857.14.
6,000.
And
okay.
Wave Scales gets 13,714.28. Their cash is a little bit lower since during the Greg's Maritime fight, they told me that they'd already taken their share before giving me the rest.
Yeah, and they're very wealthy now. God damn. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah. As it happens, piracy pays really well in D&D.
Mm-hmm. Pays well as long as you never get caught. There's a little asterisk there.
And of course, we still have millions of dollars worth in gold of, items, as it like goods like our combs, our gems, but we'll see what we can get from them when we sell them.
Now, are you going to be giving Wave Scales any directive on what he should be buying? I assume the crew is welcome to spend their money freely, but I assume you're expecting Wave Scales to take care of the ship out of his own cut.
Pretty much. If he does need assistance, he's by all means allowed to ask me, since it is still part of my fleet. But he should be taking care of at least the basics as of upkeep, feeding his crew, and of that nature.
And then the second question I'm going to ask, just as a side note, also is, are you going to be allowing Wave Scales or any of your other crew to buy their own ship and, in a sense, flag it under your crew, or under your flag?
They'd have to talk to me first.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. All right. Because that is enough, just for your own reference, to get a ship. So that's a lot of gold pieces to be handed.
Oh, yeah. The only reason why I'm not going to just say flat out yes is because if too many of them go out and grab their own ship, I'm not going to have crew to operate my own ship.
Yeah.
I got you, Aura. All right. As you kind of start divvying up and handing the coin off to the crew, one after another, kind of setting the coin off for Wave Scales until his ship kind of ports in a little bit. What you expect either within the hour or a little bit shortly after that. As you assign one of or as you look to Karask, who already plans to stay aboard the ship for the day, as he is working on something, he offers to watch for Wave Scales and hand off the coin to him and his crew. Karask being your chef, for reference, or your cook.
Yes, the cook.
The very arrogant cook.
Hey man, he does his job well. And when it comes to more specialized food that's not coming from the preservation box, it doesn't have to come out of his paycheck. Just have him give me whatever an itemized list of things he wants food wise for the crew, and I'll look over it.
Okay. All right. As you kind of divvy up the pay to each of the party members, and kind of to your crew, the trolls begin to load off and kind of start taking chunks of the loot that you have, some of the gold combs, some of the things that you've already marked that are for sale, and start taking them into town to try and make a profit to see who can make money off of it. You hear comments about something about a competition, and there is bets being put down in the background on now they all have coin. But the crew begins to almost immediately disperse.
Excellent. As long as we're not gambling on board the ship, I'm okay with a little friendly competition.
Captain, do you have a minute?
Sure, Laura. By all means. What do you got to say?
I'm gonna be going into town. Talk to someone real quick. Do you want me to see if he knows a really good contact to sell merchandise? Or do you have a contact?
I've never been to this part of the world, so.
Okay, I'll see what I can
by all means.
I'll come back.
Of course, the rest of us are going to go into town, and we'll see what we can get deal-wise, hopefully with Vicaret and Crump's bartering skills. At least Vicaret's appraisal and Crump's silver tongue.
Yeah.
I'll be back on the ship around dinner time.
Sure. Doots, will you be accompanying?
Yes, there's some magical items I would like to purchase.
Excellent.
Crump just kind of looks up at Wara and Doots for a moment and goes, I'm not saying this, but have you thought about the fact that it's a small town? I mean, I've been to bigger towns. My hometown is much bigger than this, to be fair. But small towns don't typically have much money to buy, sell, or people. You just kind of keep that in mind.
I don't expect we're going to get much money out of this town, but honestly, I'm here. War is the one who wanted to come here, but we'll see what we can get out of it, whether it's information or perhaps even more crew.
Well, the Woodwalkers are nearby, if I remember correctly. They're a family that's wealthy. Not as wealthy as my family, of course, but, quite wealthy. They swing the right way as well. They're strong believers in the crown and the authority of said crown.
Well, then it's probably not the best for us, right?
How much you like Regan Utham?
Well, I don't think I have a personal issue with the guy. Just, not one to worship a crown.
He nods and goes, "Can you fake a smile?"
I sure can, buddy. I give him a smile.
He'll give you a thumbs up at that. And he looks back at Vicarette and goes, "I think if we can get the Woodwalkers down here, if we can convince them, we might be able to convince them to loan us or at least buy one of their ships, or at least get some upgrades. They're the best ship makers in this part of the world. Only problem is the guy who runs the family is a little obsessive."
How so?
Have you ever wanted something? And I don't mean like you wanted something like just like you were desiring it. I mean like if you didn't have it, the world would end, or you'd destroy the world for it.
No.
Well, then I really don't think I can explain this to you. He kind of rubs his hands for a second. Or his paws, rather. Looking up at you and goes, "It's, you'll understand when you meet him. My father met him once."
I just kind of shrug.
He nods and looks over at Dutz and the Noir again and goes, "If you want me to organize something, all of you, for the crew, I can get some contacts up there, but it's going to take me a day. Like Wara, I think I should, if you don't mind, Captain, I'll be back."
I trust you.
I'm gonna put like for lack of a better way to describe it, like a detachable sleeve over my left mechanical arm, so that way it's mostly obscured.
Okay.
So only like the fucking fingers are sticking out.
Okay.
Because I don't want people to realize that I have a fucking artifact attached to my shoulder.
As you kind of cover your arm, kind of looking up at Azuris after getting the confirmation, kind of nods and then follows after Wara for a moment.
All right, Vicarette, Jutes, shall we make our way into town, see what's what?
Sounds good to me.
Let's get this done.
All right. Jutes, lead the way, my landlubber fellow.
Wara just...
Sure.
Alright, we'll start with jumping over to Wara real quick. Wara, give me a search check. Let's see. Ooh, nice. As you go looking down the road, there's only a couple of businesses, and most of the rest of the buildings around here seem to be houses, and this isn't a large town. There are small walls that seem to kind of border much of it. Besides what you realize looks to be quite a wide open field run by druids. There's not many buildings that catch your attention, but as you pass by the inn that as you read the the Last Fire Inn, you do see a mark of the mercenary group or mercenary sigil that you've kind of seen before amongst those of your contacts hanging inside the inn itself. What looks to be a small Eric Cochran, kind of short, a little bit with bright little brown feathers. He seems to kind of bounce around a bit in his full plate as he hands out dishes. Big, bright yellow eyes with very large black pupils in the center of them as he kind of works amongst the frost giants and a few other hill and stone giants that you see kind of eating what looks to be a heavy stew. A big, what looks to be... menu board posted above the bar in the far corner that reads wolf stew in 4 different languages or boar stew. as only two options, as well as below that, 5 silver pieces for a room per week. As the little Air Cochrane kind of doots around, standing roughly about 2 feet tall as he kind of flies by. He kind of sees you as you come in, and flutters over, looking you up and down, and goes, "Oh, my name's Drekken the Forgotten. I run the Last Fire Inn. How may I help you?"
I stick out my hand for a shake.
He shakes your hand and he goes, "You're an interesting giant fella. I haven't seen anyone that looked like Regan Utham before. Are you related to the Grunagas?"
I work for Utham.
"Ah, well, welcome in. A friend of Regan Utham is a friend of mine. I, again, am Drekken the Forgotten. I work for the Collective of Pirates as one of their scholars. I also kind of run as mayor of the town, unofficially. Regan Utham hasn't really assigned anyone, but he's not told me I'm not allowed to run everything. So, things have been going quite smoothly. But I talk a lot. How can I help you?"
I pull out a coin from the Utham mercenaries and I put it on the counter. I need to speak to someone.
Well, that'd be me, as he looks at the coin. I'm Regan Utham's connection to the town, his contact, pretty much the person he scries or talks to on a constant. What can I do for you?
Okay, so I was sent to join a group of well-doers and came across an artifact that might interest Utham, and I have information about it.
Well, I mean, Regan Utham currently has 3 of the artifacts that he's been looking for. What would be the one you found?
Not on the list. This one was not on the list that I can remember. It was a ship in a bottle.
He pulls out a little notepad and starts a little feather and some ink and starts writing things down and goes, "A ship in a bottle. Well, what makes you think this was one of these artifacts that he's looking for?"
It looked like it actually had living creatures inside the bottle on the ship.
Writes it down.
And after a few days, everyone in the area associated or near the bottle became restless and irritated.
Restless and irritated.
And there was a very strong seal apparently on the cork of the bottle.
Do you know what the seal said? Or did it have any runes or any words or anything on it?
Nothing I could decipher.
Did you know what language it was written in or not written in?
An extremely old one.
Okay. Any weird individuals that showed up looking for it?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Alright, I'll pass this on to him immediately as he kind of tears the papyrus out of his little journal and kind of begins to blow on it to dry it. He looks up at you and goes, let me let the Regan know. And, Roten himself know, I should have word back to you within the day. Are you staying in town for the night?
Yes, I will be staying on the ship that just pulled into harbor.
Oh, you're the one on the red ship. Oh, we've been hearing rumors about some ship with the name Red something in it. That's caught a lot of attention.
Yes, we've done some dealings on our ways here. We will be spending quite some money, and that's why I have a question for you.
Okay.
Who in town would be the best contact to sell merchandise to? They would actually have the financial backing to give a good offer.
Coinage-wise? Well, there you got 4 options at this in the territories right now. There is a 5th, but I don't know if you'll be interested. The Cross Candles is the magic shop. He's the only magic shop in town. It's ran by a kobold named Jox of Clan Snowclaw. There's some leftovers of Oat's resistors when he controlled King's End. They retreated over here during the big kerfuffle. Managed even, from my understanding, dodge the Pale Eye when he started moving. Grapey, strong bastard. He's got good amount of money. Sells things at a premium and offers probably the most. Is the only leather worker in town, so he'll be making a decent amount of coin. I know he's somewhere in the 2,000 to 3,000 platinum pieces.
So he's a magic dealer, but also does leather work.
He'll craft anything as long as it's something to do with an animal he can harvest. He's kind of a butcher as well in town. Small towns and all, you gotta make do with what jobs you can get.
Yeah, I understand. So the next place?
Nanan Scrolls is another place. Jeez. Wealthy is an understatement. Reagan Utham wishes he had her money, but he's also threatened to kill her on multiple times for being a pain in his, behind, as he kind of snickers a little bit and goes, she's a former Vikinger. She's retired, sells spell scrolls as her specialization, but she buys magic gear and anything that she likes, and she makes a killing off those spell scrolls. And I can tell you from her Vikinger years, she is also very wealthy.
And her name is Naaman Scrolls?
Nanan. She runs a shop called Nanan's Scrolls in town.
Her name is Nanan. Okay.
Yes, Nainan, as he kind of looks over the pirates that you're kind of riding onto.
Nanin. Good.
Mm-hmm.
And the next place?
He goes, there's the Frozen Grove that's ran by Ilurg the Shaven. I'd pronounce his clan name, but you're gonna be sitting here for a good half an hour listening to that. Giant is not my forte. Best place to sell things directly to the Regan himself. He has complete access to Regan Utham's funds. They mostly sell in animals. But the individual who runs the whole thing is he's quite the capable one and recognizes a good deal. He's also a little pushy with his beliefs. So if you're not a salad eater, I really recommend pretending you can eat salad.
Okay, and then next?
I can purchase some things on Regan Utham's authority, but I'd have to get a direct listing of them and get him to approve them, so it'd take a day. I don't have any funding besides what they pay for me in the inn, but I have some personal funding for my time working with the collective. So if you got anything of interest, I'm happy to buy it. The last one, Regan's not going to like it. There's a individual who's been setting up in Graal's old arsenal shop. He was a Vikinger that died, unfortunately, during an attack about a year back. A little over a year back now. So he Draken kind of looks up for a second, kind of thinking, goes, terrible thing. From our understanding, he was eaten alive by rats that attacked him in a group of adventurers that had come through town. But
Nasty way to go.
Yeah. There's an individual who's setting up shop. I don't know. He's a young Aaron Cochran named Brass, something like that. He's setting up shop there after being kicked out of the capital and then kicked out of Volkomen for selling cursed items. So I don't know if you'll want to deal with him, but he's got more of a merchant backing than anybody I've seen. He came in offering to pay with full platinum pieces. And I mean actual platinum from like the lands of the what is rumored to be the Illithid.
Okay. Well, thank you for the information. If I can just get a bowl of the wolf stew and an ale, I will happily sit here quietly and enjoy my meal.
He kind of looks over at you and goes, kind of looks up at the menu and goes, that'll be a silver piece for the meal, and I'll have it to you in a minute then. As he kind of smiles.
I put one of the golds on the counter. I don't have anything smaller. I do apologize.
Oh, kind of counts out some silver pieces and hands them over to you. I
leave one of the silvers on the counter.
As you do, he kind of takes it and kind of goes back to working as he flutters about some of the other customers talking to him. As you hear them kind of just mostly talking about the local hunting of Arctic manes, creatures that seem to be able to breathe ice breath from what you can hear, and a couple other minor little updates on farming and some things about the weather coming up, and how it's actually kind of nice this time of year for once. Beyond that, it's quite peaceful in this little inn as you kind of sit there listening to the fire crackle in the fireplace, causing it to be a bit warmer, and the sounds from the kitchen as metal clacks on metal. I will note your bowl and ale cup are both made of made of almost pure silver. While strong enough to hold, it seems, and they don't seem to bend as you put a little bit of pressure on them. They do seem to be high quality, as each of them seem to even be carved with giant runes on them that don't do anything, but seem to just kind of allow the bowl to be give the bowl a little bit of a glimmer. But as you begin to sit there and eat and enjoy yourself, enjoying the pleasantness of the afternoon or the morning, we're gonna jump back over to the rest of the party. Captain Azurus, Dutes, and Vicaret. As you step off the ship, kind of coming off onto the dock, a few of the giants seem to almost look at you all for a second, eyeing you up as they go about their business, but otherwise seemingly leaving you be. No one's seemingly saying anything. As you guys kind of head into town, where are you, or what are you looking for / heading? I heard Dude say he's looking for a magic shop.
I am.
I'm just kind of tagging along with, for now.
Okay.
It already seems like we're going to gravitate towards the magic shops, which is where Vicaret would go on my own devices anyways, but like, it was mentioned that we have objectives in town, and I would like to complete those objectives because that's just kind of how Vicaret is.
Fair enough. List in the head and like check boxes next to him, waiting to go through everything. Got you. All right.
Yeah.
And then Captain Azurus.
I'm looking for that magic. I'm attending that magic shop too. There's some things I'm looking to get.
Okay. Both of you give me, or all three of you give me search checks. Also, it was nachos, and now it's something else, man. What the hell? Where's my food?
I'm eating some cereal.
Nice way to wash it down, I guess.
Shit.
Yeah, nachos, cereal after nachos. Interesting combo.
I only got a 30.
Damn.
You said search?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
All right,
21.
13.
21, 13, and 30. All right. As the three of you kind of head in town, you see Moira head off towards what looks to be a quite a large building that as he kind of disappears through the doors and into as you lot head into town a little bit after him. Coming off the deck or off the ship deck, dock. There we go. You do notice to your right and to your left. There, to your left, you see almost immediately an abandoned building that looks like it has a smithy somewhat outside, in the front of the building set up, with a little bit of tarp overhang on it, and windows that look that they've been shattered inside, where clearly even inside you can still see a bunch of shields hanging on the walls, some sundered, some looking as if they are in pristine collection. But as you kind of pass by, you notice there's almost a brown feathered Eric Cochran working about in this shop as he seems to be like dusting away at a shelf, wiping away something as he sets a glowing helmet that seems to shimmer with an almost a natural arcane aura to it. To your right, you see almost immediately a single-story, very well-stoned wall building. Almost it looks as if the door itself has been reinforced with thick bits of silver and other metals that seem to glimmer similarly all along it. The words Nanan, a Nanan scroll kind of carved into the side of the door that seemed to almost glow unnaturally to the individual's eyes as each of you kind of look over towards the door itself. Inside, inside, and through what looks to be a large window that's been kind of set up, looks to be an old Vikinger female sitting in a chair, a rocking chair next to a fire as she works about writing on a table, or writing next to a table, or on a table. A large scroll of some sort. What looks to be all across her or the building, bookshelves full of almost pieces of papyrus that don't look like they fit in the books proper, but more have been just kind of shoved in or pressed into it, as if more like loose leaf in its own right. Also about looks to be a few small pieces like swords, shields, helmets, some pants, or leather pants, and a few other minor items kind of tossed about that look to be almost shown as decorations all around. The last shop, and to the right of Name and Scroll, on your right, you see the shop called the Crossed Candles, where you can clearly see what looks to be a little small hamlet that almost is completely closed up, except for a little market stand out front of it that has a white scaled kobold that seems to be kind of sitting out there with a couple bits of leather, what looks to be some leather that's being dried on a drying rack, one that he is currently going and kind of cutting and cleaning at. As he goes about, you do see the words above the small hamlet store that read the Crossed Candles Magic Shop. As the individual kind of goes about, those are the three shops that catch your attentions first. The last building of note is the Last Fire Inn, which is the inn that you saw Wara kind of run into, and Dutz and Vicaret specifically. You kind of catch that as looks like a local gathering place for the entirety of this small, very rural kind of mentality town. This is what you've gathered as a farmer town. What was that?
An accident.
Oh, okay. Interesting. As a weird, strange monster in the distance makes a weird noise in the town. Now you know why this small town isn't as small and quiet as you thought. No,
yeah, right?
In actuality, but no, as you kind of notice these little shops, these 4 buildings, or 5 buildings are pretty much what catch your attention amongst the grouping between the 3 of you. Do any of them catch your attention, or any of them ones that you want to head towards?
I would like to start with the Crossed Candles.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright. I assume Azurus is not going to push against it, so okay.
Yep, I'm cool.
As you head down a little bit into town, kind of heading off to your right at an angle, the individual kobold that seems to be working the stand kind of looks over almost immediately and smiles and goes, "Oh, excuse me, I've never seen your individuals like you. If I may ask, where do you all hail from?"
I hail from the Feywild.
Wow, that is quite a journey, friend. He looks at the other two of Azurus and Vicaret, waiting for a response.
I'm not really from anywhere.
Wanderer, understandable. And how about you, my friend?
I'm an exile, so I'd rather not talk about it.
Understandable. It's so rare we get individuals such as you lot around these parts. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Jux of the Snowclaw clan. Most people around here know me as the last holdout against Oat. I tried to fight off his involvement with our leader, Zachris, but those swords just 3-on-1 was not a good option. So, but I make a good living now. Regan is quite a kind man, and gave me a little hamlet to set up a business out of. If you don't mind my asking, what can I do for you? I offer rations, leather armors. I specialize in fireboar armor specifically. We do offer some winter wolf clothing, as well as winter wolf armor that'll keep you warm if you're planning to head towards the capital. I also offer the ability to meet and be brought to the capital. However, it's quite an expensive sum for something like that. I assume you lot aren't looking for anything of that particular goal. He kind of like looks at you for a second, kind of pauses, and kind of almost awkwardly stares for a second as if he's looking for a right word here.
I myself don't intend on going to the capital anytime soon.
Oh,
No.
oh, thank God! I had a weird little cat fella coming through here that bought the ticket earlier. Oh yeah, that was a whole. He had me frazzled all up and down. I tell you, smooth talker that one. Sweet kid, but maybe I don't know. It might have been a grown adult. I'm not sure. Anyways, can I help you or offer any goods for sale? As it kind of like waves his hand across a bunch of leather gear that he has on display in this small little market stand. Okay.
I was looking to know if you had a certain item in stock. If not, that is fine. It's called the Chasuble of Fell Power.
He kind of thinks for a second and goes, not familiar with something like that. Do you have a depiction, a drawing, or anything to give me?
I'll pull out a scrap of paper and I will draw, to the best of my ability, a scarf that is, and I will have a line pointed to it, say red or scarlet.
Oh, I can't wait you to make a roll for this.
On it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll? Can I roll something to see if I can identify it and like picture it?
Do you want your artificer friend to help you with this, Caleb?
I would like some help because I know I'm not the best at drawing. But let's see how they go.
I was gonna say, do you have any drawing? Do you have art, like perform art by chance, dudes?
No, I have perform. That's it.
Oh, I
Besides
assume you're not gonna
performance,
try and perform like a scarf. Okay. Unless you've got something in your mind for that. But while you think on that, yeah, Vicar, if you want to give me either, let's say, knowledge arcana, spellcraft, or a perform, I will take art.
Hold on a sec.
And let me pull up what was the name of the item again? Scarf of what?
The wondrous item.
It
So
is
that's
a
that. And then
Chasuble.
I have
I'll send you the name.
Yeah, please do.
I got 29.
Jesus. Alright. As you begin to draw this up and kind of help Dutz' design, making a few corrections here and there best you can.
Yeah, mine's more like a technical drafting kind of thing. Like how do I just... Considering I use spellcraft for it, it's like a technical manual but of magic.
Mm-hmm. Ah, I see what you're doing with this. He kind of looks at you for a moment as you kind of begin to design this up, Vicarette, working on this. He kind of, you see, Jox looks up at you and goes, "Oh, I know what that is. Oh no, I don't. We don't skin proto-fiends. It's that's been outlawed in the Regan Utham's lands for years. Oh shoot." I mean, I might have some in the back, but they're gonna be a harder find these days. Give me a minute as he kind of starts heading into the, kind of steps out away from his stall and goes up to the door of his hamlet and heads in.
I think that means it's gonna be fucking expensive.
Before you go, there's another thing I would like you to check in the back for.
He nods and goes, "I will warn him. Demon skins are not easy to get a hold of these days. My grandfather killed this proto-fiend, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to find much more else."
I'm looking for peculiar gems, especially if their farm or function is relatively unknown. Like as if they could slot into something and use and power it or enhance it, but otherwise complicated or things like that.
I mean, we've got one thing that might fit that. You know, it's funny actually. It's in the same box, if I'm remembering correctly. As he kind of puts his finger or his clawed finger to his lips and kind of taps his upper lip with it, and goes, "I think I should have something for you. It's expensive though, cause my grandfather told me that the market price was near 100,000 gold pieces, but I never could figure out what the damn thing did. Let me go see if I can find. Sir," and he looks over at Captain Azurus. "Is there anything you're looking for before I step away? Or are you just interested in leather goods?"
Well, I'm myself looking for an item called the Magnificent Captain's Coat. I can hand you the description of it if you wish.
He nods and goes, "I'd appreciate something like that." As he kind of looks over, if you want to give me either a perform art or a knowledge arcana, if you're just going to describe it.
I will assist.
Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna send it, PM it to you.
Sure.
But yes, what did you say that I must roll for this?
So either a knowledge arcana for explaining this thing, or option 2 would be a perform art if you're going to draw it, or calligraphy if you have calligraphy for it. I could see an argument.
Let's do a knowledge arcana.
Okay.
I've got a +9, so it's not too bad.
Should I roll as well to assist?
Yes, please.
If you want.
Okay.
If you're going to assist, yeah.
That is a 19 for me.
19. Okay.
My knowledge arcana is a little less good than my spellcraft, so.
But probably well above mine.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
I get a +2 bonus because of synergy. Unfortunately, my artificer class bonus doesn't cut through, so I don't get a
look at
+4
that.
bonus.
29. Yeah. As you kind of help with the explanation going into it, he kind of looks at you for a second. And goes, "Oh yeah, I bought something off the Woodwalkers just the other day. Give me a minute." And he heads into the shop, into the house for a moment as you hear him working about or moving things about. The sounds of heavy boxes being lifted and dropped, the occasional coughing and sneezing from heavy dust being moved about, metals kind of jingling against metals. This goes on for about a minute. He kind of pops his head out and looks covered in dust, a little cobweb hanging off of the side of his face, and goes, I'm still... No, I'm still looking. I found the cloak. Yeah, God, it's very dusty and it's but it is huge. Can you fit huge?
Vikrat, would you be able to, tailor it to me?
Absolutely.
Got you.
It'd be relatively easy.
Perfect. All right, give me a moment. I'll be back out with that once I find the gemstones. Quite heavy.
Do you need any help?
He kind of shows you his hands as you see large gauntlets on that seem to have giant runes that are glowing on it, and he goes,
Oh.
I'm using these and they're still not working. Are you stronger than these gauntlets I got from the Regan's personal auction?
Actually, Vikrat, why don't you take a look at those to see if he's actually got them activated?
Yeah, I'll do that. It's the same roll either way for me, depending, no matter what skill I use. So.
It'd be very funny if he didn't have them on.
All right, go ahead and roll.
32.
32. You do recognize these as gauntlets of ogre power.
Gauntlets of ogre power. Not bad. They're active, right?
They are glowing and active, yeah.
I'll motion for him to get closer.
Alexius, I gotta get this crystal. There's a gemstone thing you were asking for. Give me a minute.
If you get over here, I can make it easier.
Okay, sure. As he comes over and kind of like steps out down the wooden stairs that kind of creak as he does, coming out covered head to toe in dust as he walks over and grabs the gauntlet or not the gauntlet, the cloak on the way out and sets the cloak on the table for a moment, or the captain's
I reach
coat.
forward and I increase the enhancement bonus on the Gauntlets of Ogre powered by +4. So he gets +4 more strength.
Oh, okay, all right. As you and you don't have to roll for that. Okay, fuck.
Nope, it's an infusion. It's
All right.
temporary.
Yeah, as they the gauntlets begin to glow and go from almost a golden light to suddenly a blue, he looks on it and like with his eyes growing wide, he goes, "Oh, thank you. They feel so much lighter. Give me a second. Feel free to look at the coat. The woodwalker fella. Oh, God, I forget his name. He was a young guy. Got killed by Og apparently. Something along the lines of his son was cursed or something along those something about him getting attacked by storm giants with this small merchant company. I don't know, Iron Chancellors, Iron Guts, I think was their name, and they stole the ship and everything. There was a whole debacle with that coat. So I don't know if it's bad luck, but I want to take a look as he kind of heads back in. But the coat lays there. As you see the coat itself, at first it looks just like a heavy white woolen coat. You do recognize the wool coming from the winter wolves, as it doesn't take hard to look over at the very large fenced-off area on the edge of on the end of town that has a few of them kind of biting at the fence, trying to get out. Others that are kind of laying about as they go about their day. But as you look at it, you do see on the back of it what looks to be a design that has been almost painted into the wool. That's been painted over multiple times now. It looks like it's just almost a golden tree in a ring with its roots kind of touching the ring and its branches going into the ring. What looks like before, as you recognize a golden gauntlet somewhat smallly painted into there, and you can kind of see the light shapes of it spilling over where the red coloration was probably before, as you kind of look it over for a second, Azurus.
Vicarette, could you make sure that all at least the magical aspects of this are functioning properly? I want to purchase a botched item.
Yeah, I'm gonna pour over it, spend some time identifying it and figuring out if it's got any like cursed properties or anything like that.
Okay, let me check something real quick. I want to double check my own notes for this. Alright, give me a D100 roll, please.
All right. Me or the person who's buying the item? More important.
You, as you're the one casting Identify. And this is assuming you're not touching it or anything, just to make clear. This isn't like a curse going off or anything on you.
38.
38, okay, perfect. Yeah, as you look over the item, you kind of grabbing the pearl out of your pocket, crushing it up, stirring it into your wine with the owl feather on hand, beginning to drink the incantation as you do, and looking over the item and staring at it as the magical runes on it begin to glow and almost kind of translate themselves into a language that you understand. You begin to read that this is moderate aberration and transmutation, specifically air. Caster level is 7th, not 5th, to make clear. It does still require the feat to make the item. It does have control winds, endure elements, and one other requirement, though you cannot see it. The item is what looks to be slightly stronger than a typical captain's coat, from your own knowledge, Vicarette.
And there's no curses on it or anything like that?
Your Identify did not pick up any curses. Now, I will make clear, that does not mean there isn't a curse. It's just, your Identify did not pick up one.
Yeah. Alright. I'm kind of like hung up on the last requirement being unknown. Like my eyes narrow. Well, I say my eyes narrow. My eyes cannot narrow, but my antenna do the Vicaret equivalent of eyes narrowing, which is like they like have like a downward curve to them suddenly as I ponder this.
Okay. As you kind of ponder and look at it, I will say it's going to be a few more moments as I just failed the strength check once more to lift the item. Even with this bonus, it's going to take me a minute. I want you to know I have a 20 in strength before the item with this NPC, and I'm still failing to roll anything above a 2.
Oh wow!
So I failed 3 times now on this is my third roll. So yeah, don't mind me in the background.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of prod it with my more my artificer like just skills and try and figure out what this other requirement is.
Okay. Give me a spellcraft check.
Okay.
Not even I know what this other requirement is because it's not part of the item.
I got a 22. I rolled the second. I rolled really low.
Surprisingly, you are fully unsure. Whatever this other spell, you're sure it's a spell. Whatever this other spell it is something you've never seen or heard and cannot seem to read, no matter what you do.
Will the cloak work without the wearer having this?
You're unsure. From the identify, it seems like this spell was required to make the item.
Yeah, that's fairly normal for it to be required to make the item and not be required to use it, but I'll look to the captain and I'll say, it appears as though there's something hindering my ability to identify this completely. It should function as normal, but there are some unknown elements. It would take me time to research them. I'd have to replicate them in a safe environment, which is difficult because I don't even know where to start.
Well, I guess that's all that's left is to wait till the gentleman returns and for me to negotiate a price.
As he
Why not?
Comes out and goes, the scarf stopped biting me. As he comes out with little cuts and little bits of blood coming down the side of his face, little bite marks you can see clear as day, as if a dog has just bitten onto him. As he's carrying what looks to be this red scarf with what looks to be a very angry, demonic face on it, kind of staring out at you all. As he kind of sets it down, it seems to try and move a little bit with the light wind that comes through and like pulls him towards the table harder as he sets it down. And he kind of pulls the gauntlet up and sets down the gemstone on the side. As you look at it, it looks to be a long, rough crystal in or that seems to be shaped like a prism. As he kind of looks at you both and goes, "This is for you. The scarf you asked for, and the gem. I've got prices, but I imagine as you are merchants, you're going to want to take a look at them and judge the goods for yourself. So I'm going to sit down here, catch my breath, and try and heal my wounds."
Does does the gem look like it's slot into the arm?
It looks like it's awkwardly shaped, but as you kind of take a second and look at it, you're pretty sure it could fit. It's the same size as the one that you have. It's just a little rougher. It looks like you probably have to clean up and smooth this to make it easy to pull out, but you're definitely sure if you stuck it in, it ain't coming out. Not unless you try.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Just kind of looks up at you as you kind of measure it, look at the gemstone, kind of test it a little bit as you feel the grip on the thing kind of catching on the sides as you pull it out and set it back down. He looks over at Dudes expectingly with the scarf kind of staring at Dudes right now.
I'm going to cast Identify on all three, on the remaining 2 items as well. Just
Okay.
par for course and roll
me-
the spellcrafts and stuff like that.
Give me 2d100s, please, as well. As your
All right.
spellcraft check.
Here's the first one,
Okay.
and here's the second one, and here's 16 plus 2 plus 2. First one is a 37.
Okay.
And just because Vicaret is good aligned, Doots' stuff would be first and mine would be last. And this is the...
Okay. You recognize the gem as a gem of brightness. This would, as you recognize the faint evocation, the caster level of 6. It does take Craft Wondrous item, and it does usually take daylight to make this item. It does not seem to have any uniqueness about it, and just seems to be a normal gem. A little poorer made than the average, but that seems to just more and more made on the fact that this is homemade, as you kind of guesstimate. The second one, the scarf. What's your caster level again, Vicaret?
My caster level is 6.
Alright, we're going to take a quick pause as Dudes has to step away for a second, and we would like to make sure Dudes can hear what this is. So we'll take a quick commercial break. Okay. Alright, let's continue on. Yes, we returned back from our quick commercial break. Thank you very much. Hopefully you two ran a commercial break. If it didn't, that's really awkward. We return, yes, so as you identify the scarf, Vicaret, and I assume you're going to be kind of speaking this mostly out verbatim, so I'm going to kind of speak as if that was the case in this situation. You realize that this item, this chasuble of fell power, this scarf, is not made of a fiend that you or the identify spell seems to be able to recognize. Therefore, you are unsure what the material of this scarf is actually made from. Its coloration, being as unique as it is, almost seems to cause a bit of a migraine in your head from the magic. But as the spell continues, you recognize this as a 9th level caster level. However, this item acts as if it was a 6th level. It does have greater evocation.
I do keep the level of power to myself.
Okay, just mentioning it's 6th level. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Vicaret wants to make sure her party can get the best deal out of it. So if I can pretend it's just the base item, I'm gonna pretend it's just the base item.
I also assume you can also cast a message, and you have a telepathy, I believe, right?
Yeah, I have telepathy.
Yeah, so assumedly communicating with the other two in their head while you read out the general idea of the item, but speaking to them in their head about what the item actually is here. If you'd like to.
Azurus has specifically requested me to not telepathy him, so I'm telepathy. I only message dudes with my telepathy.
Okay. You also, so this item does still require the Craft Wondrous item. It does require the ability for the user or the creator to invoke an Eldritch Blast or cast Chaos Hammer. And as you look at the rest, the item seems to be able to do as it would expect. It casts or adds a bit more damage, a bit lesser damage than what would be expected of a full version, but seems quite capable otherwise. Lastly, there seems to be one minor thing of magic that you do see, arcane runes, that again, you can't seem to read.
Dude is gone.
Dudes did step away. Dudes did just get a phone call. But that's okay. Dudes heard most of it. So, the guy looks up at you and kind of smiles and goes, or Jox kind of looks up at up to Captain Azurus, kind of expecting him to make the decision, seeing the fancy coat and everything else. He kind of goes, so I'm thinking for the scarf 9,000 gold pieces. And for the gemstone, I'll do 10,000.
I'm gonna do an appraisal check real fast.
Okay.
Do.
And then he kind of stops and goes, for the cloak, I'll do...
26.
12,000 as he kind of like smiles up at Azurus. An appraisal check, 26. Let me double check something. Okay. You roughly get so the gemstone itself that you picked up, Vikret, would be roughly worth on the market around 13,000 gold pieces. So he seems to be giving you about 3,000 off. For the coat, the captain's coat that Azurus is wanting, it seems he's upcharging about 2,000 gold pieces. And then as he points out to the scarf, he seems to be charging about an extra 1,000. So in net, he's basically asking for market price overall for all three items.
All right. I will relay this to Doots telepathically.
Okay. He did say if it was less than 18k, he was going to buy it. So, I will go ahead and add that mention of what I wrote.
I'm going to assist in haggling, because I imagine Azurus and Doots and crew are going to haggle somewhat.
I mean, Azurus, are you going to?
I know I'm gonna haggle. I don't know if Doots is, because I know, like you said, he just said if it's below 18, he'll get it.
Well, I think Doots just gonna kind of step back and kind of let you haggle on the deal for the three items. Kind of seeing you take a step forward and looking as if you're interested.
These prices are definitely very interesting, but I'm trading in gold, and I know in this part of the world, gold is a mighty sought-after commodity.
Jock's nods.
Perhaps we can lower the price a little bit for payment in gold.
Is it pure? How pure is the gold?
If I remember correctly, Rice, it was 70%.
Roughly about, yeah.
From what my artificer said, the content is about 70%.
He nods and goes, alright, 10,000 gold pieces for the lot of them? For all three?
I think we have a deal.
He nods, holds out his hand, and goes, I appreciate your business. You can come back anytime, as he shakes your hand. Kind of a little bit more heartily than you'd expect of someone so a bit smaller than you, as he does.
Well, I mean, he's got those gauntlets.
Well, he took the gauntlets off. It seems as Vikret was kind of doing their ritual and looking over the items, kind of setting them aside where you can kind of smell the sweat coming from inside of them now that they've stopped glowing blue. And kind of as he shakes your hand, he smiles. He goes, "Shoot, Regan Utham's gonna be happier than a clam with this." As he takes the coin and kind of like starts counting out and looking at it, as he pushes his finger into it, he goes, I can even bend it. Shoot, he's going to give me double the gold value of this and gemstones and iron. I appreciate you. Come back anytime, friend.
For sure. I think this is going to be the start of very fruitful business.
He nods and he goes, that's good you came to me and didn't go to Nanan. I tell you, she would have wrung you for every piece you had. I watched her talk a crump into handing over his last gold piece. You know how hard that is.
Oh my god. Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you, that woman is scary. She's a viper, and she charges her scrolls. Shoot. On a cheap...
Excuse me, hold on. Roll that back slightly.
She nods.
You said...
Jox nods, yeah.
A crump, as in there's more than one.
Oh yeah, there's a clan. They're famous. One of them, Crump Senior, as we know him, he comes through town about once a year. He travels through Knighton to Velcomen. always tries to get an audience with Regan Utham and him Persh's last hold, but keeps getting told no. Or my favorite so far that I've heard the story go is that he keeps getting told that the Regan Utham suddenly comes down with a cold, which is hilarious. I don't think frost giants can get cold, but it works every time.
Upon the revelation that there is, in fact, more than one crump, something, a true miracle happens right there in that magic shop as a chitinous creature visibly shudders.
Joxco looks up at you and goes, I think there's currently 65 of them last I counted. Although there 4 of them did recently die in an attack from some ancient proto-fiend creature in some cannibal town. But I'm not 100% sure the whole truth of it. Rumors state these things, but it's hard to know the truth anymore. It's dizzying, I know. They're great merchants too, most of them. Not the kindest folk, but they can smell a deal from miles away. A lot of the merchants say it's a weakness mostly that they sniff out. If you get a crump to work with you, it's like basically putting a knife to your throat. It's not really a question of if it's going to happen, more when your neck's going to get slit.
Oh, by the way, just for the sake of the money coming from our accounts, do we just want to split the 10 3 ways, like 3,333 and 33 cents or whatever?
Which would be 33 silver pieces.
Mm-hmm. Do we just want to split it like that? Or do you want to do the math out of it?
Vicaret will just put forward 5,000.
Okay.
Just to help the party out. I have 3,521 platinum. I converted it to platinum pieces because I do that to give me a better view of things. I have a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
I have 3,521 platinum pieces, and that's not counting the 10,000 pure calorium that I have in my bag of holding.
That is true. You do have quite the extensive bank account. So I guess that means me and Caleb will fork over the remaining 2,500 each.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll just send him a quick mention from here.
It's one of those things where I just picture the captain starting to do math, and then Vicaret is just rod of 5,000 gold, and turns and starts to lead, scoops up. I got this.
Alright. Alright, so that's, there you go, dudes. From you. Alright. There you go. There's your notes for it, dudes. Perfect. Alright, as he kind of takes the coin, he smiles and looks up at you and goes, I very much appreciate this. Enjoy your items, and if you need anything else, feel free to come talk to me. If you're staying in town, the Last Fire Inn, Drekken is a sweet individual, and he can cook something fierce. I recommend the boar stew, personally. The wolf is a bit stingy and chewy.
I nod.
Oh, none of you are butchery believers, right?
Who?
Huh?
But you know what a butchery is, cutting up creatures and such?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, good. I don't have to deal with that confusion twice. Okay. Enjoy your time in town.
Butchery? That's weird.
Jox goes back to cleaning and working about some other
Right.
the two
I
got a cool
new coat that needs to be hemmed because I'm large, not huge.
Mm-hmm. You can add a huge coat. As though the three of you kind of step away, where are you heading next?
to the other magic shop because they might have more slot gems for me to slot.
Okay. All right. Are you Azurus? Are you following after?
Yeah, for right now. If I'm bored, I'll probably go find an inn or something or a tavern to have fun in.
Say Dutes does kind of step away and kind of begins heading towards the inn, the same inn that Vicar you recognize that you'd seen Wara head into earlier. As Dutes heads over to join Wara in a drink and a bite to eat, kind of playing a little bit of a tune in the background as music starts to diddle about the group. As you two kind of look off, you have two other shops that you can see. You can see the one that looks to be open with a Eric Cochran running about inside, setting items about as he does so. And then, of course, the scroll shop called Nanan's Scroll that you were just told would probably rob you blind for how much she charges.
Yeah, I can't imagine we want to go to Naden's, but if you want to go for that, by all means. And wasn't that Eric Cochran fella kicked out for selling cursed items in the other two cities of this realm?
That's what Jock said.
I shrug and say, yeah, but, part of my job is removing curses from items.
You know what? Actually, let's go get some cursed items. Just let's omit the fact that you specialize in getting rid of them.
I nod. I pause, and then I also say, just bear in mind some curses I do need assistance removing, but most I should be able to handle.
Me being dressed like this, what if we play some parts, a little deception? What if I play a foolish noble looking to buy some fine armaments and equipment? I might be able to get some good things off of them, and maybe some decent prices.
All right, and I could just be your servant or something?
If that's what you wish, a hired hand to make sure that I don't get cheated.
Very well.
I think this is going to be quite fun.
Okay.
Flash forward 2 hours from now, we're in the midst of combat with the shopkeeper, fucking throttling him.
Yeah, as you head up to the shop, the door kind of creaks open. You hear a little bell ring, and you see this great gray owl Eric Cochran kind of look over at you as the brown feathered illusion dissipates. A light leather armor that looks to kind of shine and glimmer as it does. He kind of looks about and you as you walk in and goes, "Oh, excuse me, my manners. My name is Hoot, or sorry, Bronze." As he kind of coughs a moment and goes, "Minor curse I was given by the leather armor I wear. I hood at every hour. It's quite a unique curse, but the benefits are quite valuable. Welcome to my cursed item shop."
I've been looking to get myself geared up. Hello, my name is Azurus. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
You talk quite fancy for a Goliath. No, I don't know many that are educated, as he kind of holds out his hand.
Well, I have a better education than most. I do find myself in the company of many crumps from time to time.
Stops and goes, "Crumps? I've had a bit of dealing with them," as he kind of lightly pulls at his collar and kind of fixes his shirt a little bit and goes, "Interesting. How may I be of assistance to you and your unique compatriot? It's not often I get members of such illustrious backgrounds, Sir Azurus and Lady Vicarette." as he seems to look at both of you for a second. His eyes seem to glimmer for a moment and then dissipate.
I realized that's. Oh, so we've been identified. My antenna go from like very stiff to just they relax. Listen, if another Formian comes in here asking about me, you didn't see me.
I wouldn't expect a Formian this far south if a winter wolf were to shave its backside. I'll be honest, these days it's quite a trip to come this far south for the cold winters we get. This is the warmest day we've had in years, and it's only because we're on the coast.
My antenna twitch a little bit as I think about the fact that this guy is not aware that all Formian Murmars have greater teleport, which means a hive can move quite quickly.
He just kind of looks at the two of you and goes, may I be of assistance? Haven't had any customers since, that Kesnanok fella came through and bought some items for me. Very daft fellow, but quite pretty to look at.
Well, what do you have in stock? Anything interesting?
All my items are cursed, as I let all of my customers always know. It's quite a surprising factor how very few listen to that simple thing. I even wrote it on the sign, as he kind of points to a sign off to the side of the door. And goes, and I've got some incense, some rings, amulets, stones, bracers, gauntlets, a sword. Ooh, I have a special sword that we just got in that we found, or one of my compatriots found at the bottom of a big tomb. I haven't been able to figure out what it does, but it tells me it's quite cursed if you're interested.
Can
Nope.
Can I see it? I can tell you what it does.
Okay. Looks at you and
Do you have any... Do you have any dust of choking and sneezing?
Sadly, no. We don't carry anything of that sort these days. It's a common item that the Regan isn't a fan of. Some kids got a hold of it. I got in a lot of trouble for that one. That's kind of second reason why I'm here. It turns out Regan with him, not that great of a jokester as Dom fellow would have told her tells. Anyways, follow me as he kind of like pushes apart some leather that's kind of hanging in a doorway to take you into your back where you see a bunch of shelves with items kind of having iron bracers, silver bracers to hold them down. Many of them vibrating the shelves and glowing lightly. Some of them giving light whispers almost immediately as you come into the room. But none of them seem to have any ill effects immediately. But as he kind of takes you over to a display case where you see what looks to be a heavy wooden box that looks to have this bright red wood that seems almost unique in itself. Each of the slabs seemingly having little bits of arcane runes carved into them in giant, sealing the powers within this item and keep preventing it from escaping. He kind of brings you over to it, and as he taps the box with his hand, some of the runes begin to glow, and the wood begins to kind of pull aside slowly as it reveals this long silver sword that looks to have almost a bright purple gem at its crossguard that seems to glow with fire, kind of almost as if the fire is inside of it. The handle itself looks to be made with a thick leather where the hand or the center hands would be. However, on either side of where the hands would rest seems to be a thick hourglass made of a thin blue crystal-like material that you recognize similar to lyrium at a quick glance. The end pommel of the sword has a bright glowing red gemstone in it, and then the blade seems to give almost a bright glow gold to it, although the blade itself is made of blackened metal.
And I identify it.
Okay, go ahead and give me a D100 and a spellcraft roll.
$35. for the spellcraft.
35. As you go over the item, you notice, give me a second, it is overwhelming, divination. And when I mean overwhelming, I mean Vicaret look for the first time, not for the first time, for a similar time feels magic quite high level, almost similar to the ship in a bottle. Give me a moment. I'm just pulling up something. There we go.
Divination?
Yes.
Oh, that's not healthy.
Overwhelming evocation. As well for the other one, the caster level on it you recognize as 20th. This does take the craft magic arms and armor, and seems to require 4 spells that you cannot seem to understand or read.
Oh wow.
That's it. Bronze kind of looks up from at you as you kind of just say "oh wow" and goes, "So is that a good oh wow, or are you looking to like not buy it?"
I look towards Captain Azurus and I point at it and I say, "It's another ship in a bottle."
Really?
Bronze just looks to both of you and goes, "What is ship in a bottle? What does that mean?"
Oh, don't worry about it. I just wanted the captain to be aware of what we're looking at.
I was told it wasn't an artifact by Regan Utham himself. Well, not himself, by his guards. It wasn't what they were looking for in the slightest. Apparently, it didn't fit the power ranking of what he was looking for, so it's not apparently that valuable or powerful, but this thing gives off a hell of a curse. One of our mages came through and told me that when he managed to figure out, after he got the madness to stop off and just started laughing hysterically after looking over the item, said something about tying you to a god. I couldn't figure out much more of it. We had a strange fella come through town, told me that if I ever gave that to someone, he'd kill me for it. Said something about him finding it in some place called Draffica. I don't know. I've been to the continent. It ain't that bad.
I'd like to make an Arcana check to see if I know of any items that match that description.
Oh yeah, give me a knowledge Arcana. Azurus is thinking for a moment. I
have a +2.
Well, while Vicaret's doing that, how much does he want for it?
He kind of looks up at you as you you look for a price, and he kind of takes a second. Goes, "Oh, price. Tell you what, I'll hand it off for 2,000 gold pieces or ruby gemstone pieces." And he kind of takes a second. And goes, "We don't deal in much in metal coins here. I couldn't help but see your business across the street."
I
see it.
I'm gonna touch my head and activate a spell to give me a +5 bonus to this check. 39.
Kind of. Okay. It kind of takes a second as you look it over, and I kind of smiles and goes, "Oh, I'll give it to you for 2,000. But that's about the best I can do for it. I'll just be honest, have it out of my shop at this point."
Did the curse take immediate effect when the mage held it, or?
Oh, no one's touched it since I've gotten it. He kind of looks at you and goes, "No, yeah. Vicaret, with 39, with the knowledge Arcana, as you think for a moment, there's not a blade that is famous or that's been known that has a blackened blade. The alignment items that have been mentioned kind of through and through with Wara, nothing you passed amongst the Troll lands or the Thrycrant lands, nothing comes to mind. This thing looks almost unique in its own right. The only thing that kind of looks interesting about it is the fact that it's definitely not on the same level as something of the ship in the bottle, as that caster level on that item was much higher. This seems to be almost a lesser effect, as if someone tried to copy the same effect as one of those items. Did you kind of take a moment? You'd guesstimate this is probably a middle period item between the end of whenever those items were made and whatever empire ruled at that time fell, and now. So you guesstimate this is probably a not as great and probably not linked directly, but something of trying to measure up. And it did not go well, as you get there with the curse, as the curse does not look like it was intended on the item.
You said this was a long sword, right?
Correct.
I can't use long swords.
I'll poke the captain and just shake my head at it. Be like, it seems to be studying it. It's a neat replica. But it's basically mulling over some stuff and using the spell that the infusion I just used. It's effectively someone found one of the artifacts that a giant friend is apparently looking for and tried to duplicate it, and this was the result. The curse is not intended. So at first blush, it looks a lot like, one of the ships, something like the ship in the bottle, but it's actually a duplicate, and the magics will probably have some kind of catastrophic effect. Divination and evocation combined, are they intertwined like metamagically? Oh no. Oh God! Tell me this is not a sword of Scry City.
He just kind of looks at you and goes, "If you're interested, the item does morph its shape. This is just the shape it took of its the last person to pick it up. One of my bodyguards tried to move it before we crated it. He was a longsword expert, and the madness was instantaneous, but he screamed out something about refusing the offer. I think something possesses this item, I believe, and I think whatever it does, you must accept it to be able to wield it. My guess is it will change its form. It was a dagger at one point. I've seen it also turn into a scimitar. It was a whip at one point, which was quite entertaining. It also beckons any that that have wielded it. I've caught that. We had to put my bodyguard down as he just wouldn't stop. We chopped his legs off and he kept coming. We chopped his arms. He was down to nothing but a head, and he was willing to keep pulling even in death. His body seemed almost drawn to it unnaturally.
I do not find myself wishing to be under the influence of anybody, nonetheless an item. This might not be the best thing for me.
It's the most powerful thing I have in the ship. Beyond that, I have a map to some artifact that was powerful. That's rumored to be powerful, but it's a bunch of bupkis. I found it in the hands of one of these gauntlets, as he pulls up a gauntlet of reverse ogre strength, as you almost immediately clock, because they are identical to Jox's, except the runes are all turned upside down. It's really easy to catch. Yes. There was a giant fellow wearing these, and he's holding this map, grasping it like to death, apparently. When I peeled the damn thing out, and he kind of pulls the map out of one of the satchels on the wall and kind of sets it out and shows you the long map. It looks at of islands you've never seen before. He goes, "No idea where this is, but mostly something in this." He marks a thing on the map and goes, "It goes to somewhere far to the north of one of these northern islands, but nothing seems to really give us an answer. We don't know what the item is. We just know it's powerful." I'm going to post him up here in a minute. I will post him up here. What?
Gotcha. I was gonna ask if I could use either like a proficient sailor to see if it's an actual map, or like truly like someone just bullshitted their way through making a map.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Give me a sailor. A proficient sailor. And what was your question, Vicarant, as well?
Is there any magic on the map?
There is not.
Okay.
Right. Let me. What is my modifier?
Decipher script.
Because if
Oh, I
this is
don't
like
have
if this is an honest to god like map, then this might be something I pick up.
Can I roll an appraisal check to see if there's any like anything hidden or like weird about the map? Like maybe it was
25.
I know I won't figure it out with that because I don't have Decipher
Well,
script.
like
I
the
want-
national treasure, Declaration of Independence type shit.
Yeah. It's more like could there be something hidden in this map is what I'm rolling appraisal for.
Yep. As he sets down the map, there's the image and there's the X at the top.
20 total.
20. As you kind of take a second looking this over, and again, remind me, you're doing this for the magic runes, or what was it, sorry?
Just to see if there's any like chance that like either the map was altered to obscure it, or if it was like, or if it has anything like hidden in it.
Okay.
I can't like identify the hidden thing, but I can tell if there's a chance that it's there.
Okay. And then, Azurus, what was your roll for the sailor?
25.
25. This does look like an actual map. This looks like this legitimately hasn't been tampered with. This map looks like it's original, though neither of you recognize any of these shorelines, and this seems to be completely unmatching of any continents you've seen or read about in any books. This is a completely foreign land.
And if I'm correct, those are like, it looks like there's settlements on this thing.
That's what the map depicts, is that there look to be what he draws out look to be steeples or houses with very tall towers. And it's hard to tell if they're churches or if these are supposed to be markers for villages. And as he kind of looks up at you, as you kind of quizzically look at them, he just shrugs with a no, as if he doesn't know. But he does point to the northern end of the main island and goes, "There's some ruins up there that supposedly this giant went to. But again, I tell you, if he went there, I don't know why his gauntlets were cursed, because how the hell he made it with a -6 to his strength at all times? I mean, he'd have to be one of the strongest giants in existence."
Where is this giant still with us? Where is he?
Oh no, we found these on his body. He's been dead for, yeah, shoot, I think I've had this map now a few years.
How much for the map and the gauntlets?
Sure, you can keep the map. I'm not leaving here anytime soon. Knighton makes me some good money.
What about the gauntlets?
The gauntlets? Shoot. I tell you, they're quite powerful, but I haven't been able to figure out how to reverse them, and I specialize in curses. Otherwise, I'd turn around and sell them. Tell you what. You give me 200 gold pieces, and you can have them.
All right, 200 gold pieces. Of course, I'm not going to be putting these things on.
No,
but...
of course not. He kind of wraps them in some leather and hands them to you. Kind of wraps up the map and curls it up and puts a tie around it and hands it to you and goes, "I wish you luck. If you figure out that map, I tell you, there was a fella who said he recognized that map, but I can't remember his name. I know where he was going though, because I remember asking that. Oh, let me pull up my maps." And he kind of looks there. Here it is. Beastmail Port. That was where he was heading. He said something about meeting some bankers there, some merchants, something like that. He called them coin holders. So I guess you're gonna find him there. Ginger fella. No, it wasn't Ginger. No. He was black hair. That's it. Dark black hair. Kind of tall, angry looking. Swears more than he speaks anything. That'll be the easiest way to recognize him. Some sort of caster is my guess. Would be the best person to ask about knowing this map.
What race was he?
He was fair-skinned, kind of pretty. Looked a lot like a fellow that came through here a while ago named Kesnok. Very pretty fella, but not as big. Skinny, shoot. Pointed ears. I don't know what that race is called. Shoot, they mostly reside in Diamond City. Oh, there's a famous one. Oh shoot, what was his name? Let me see. Rollerman Marebreaker. He's the guy who keeps sleeping with like dragon princesses. Dude's famous around every court at this point. Like, he is the man with the magic dick.
So it's somebody who looks like this Rollerman, or is?
No, it looks like him. His race, oh shoot, I don't know what his race is, but they're the pointy-eared fellas.
Huh. So what port? It was Beast what port?
Beastmail port in the House of Closing territories.
Closing.
Kind of.
Where's Closing at?
He points to the Cracked Lands map.
How long ago did he leave?
Oh, shoot, probably 4 months ago. It's about a year's journey at least get from here to there, even by skyships. On a good day these days, Og himself, that Blackbone Og is a real problem in these parts. So, my guess
We're not gonna catch him.
He kind of stops and like looks over at Vikret.
I could.
Yeah.
Vikret kind of thinking for a second.
If I was a bit more, I look down at myself, thinking for a moment again, and then I say, if I was a mermark, I could probably pretty quickly catch up to them, ask them the questions and then return, but I'm not a mermark.
And fun fact, neither am I.
Yeah, I can tell.
There's
not.
Kind of like gets in between the two of you, seeing the sarcasm that Vikret didn't recognize, and Azuris is obvious trying it, and goes, there was another individual that was coming. I do know her name. If you're interested. She's a bardic fella. Came through with an instrument. Said she had a run-in with this group over in King's End. Named by Valthana. Kind of grayish skin, dark lips. Very pretty, a little bit older. Elven, that's what the race is. Elvish, and he kind of like looks about and goes, I saw you traveling with a fella that looked kind of like their same species. The fancy dressed one. With the book on his hip. As you kind of catch that he's pointing out to dudes.
I nod.
Yes. Looked a lot like him. She's a bit older, but she's very sweet. She came through, she bought like 4 of my items, said she didn't want the sword, said something about it being part of some group I can't remember the name of. But she bought some leather armor, some, a helmet, and something else. It was a dagger. Called it the Dagger of Apocalypse. That was a great name. All it did was shoot a little firebolt when you activated it. But yeah. She might be, she should be in town. She might be even in town still. I think she was only here a week ago. She might still be around. She said she was heading somewhere else, but now I think about it, kind of like scratches under his chin as he ruffles the feathers a bit and goes, might be able to find her somewhere around here. I don't know where, but... Ain't been
Probably at the scroll shop trying to remove curses from the 4 items she bought from you.
Very possible. Danon makes a great deal of money off me.
I laugh.
Hey, I'm an honest merchant, no matter what they say. And that Kesdenok fella can go to the hells itself for what he said to me, or to Moors itself for what he said to me. He tried to say that my business was a slander, and that I was trying to sell him nothing but cursed items and was a horrible person. I tell you, if you see this individual, don't listen to him.
Well, I mean, you do sell just cursed items, right?
Yes, but I have a sign in my every shop I've worked in that says I sell cursed items. And I even stated as part of the pitch, like, that's the fun of the items.
And to be fair, I don't think this individual is selling cursed items specifically to just Kesnok. I think that Kesnok, whatever that name, but rather sells them to everyone generally. It's not like a targeted fuck this guy in particular.
Anyway,
Thank
you for your thank you for the service.
No, I think that's. If you're interested in anything else at any point, or if you've got an item that's cursed that you're looking to get rid of, or you want me to find, or looking to find one, I'll take offers and requisition requests. We do what we can here.
Yeah, of course.
All right, I'm gonna go get a drink.
He nods as you two kind of turn and head out towards the last fire inn. As you head over towards the inn itself, you can already hear the music starting to get louder as the sound of Doots singing and playing his instrument kind of goes on in the background. As you kind of walk into the large double doors, pushing through. Oh wait, a little heavier than you were expecting. You see the small Drekken, his little bright little brown feathers fluttering through the sky, and his bright yellow eyes with big black pupils, kind of as he floats through, handing out dishes from the kitchen to different giants who are sitting down and finding themselves drinking and eating out of, as you realize, are pure silver bowls, silver mugs, silverware. That one kind of speaks for itself. As they go about, the music kind of bumping, people singing along and having a good time as Dudes kind of plays a little bit of what sounds like something along the lines of a homage to the Cryptic Kabal and their sacrifice and fight against the Thrycreen. As the giants seem to kind of get into the song, it seems to kind of get up tune to almost a marching rhythm. You hear the bumping of people's feet on the heavy wood. As Drekken kind of sees you lot, flies over and goes, "Oh, hello. My name is Drekken the Forgotten. I run the last fire inn. I apologize. I'm very tired. They've been going about this for the last few moments. Are you with Wara fella and Doots?"
Yeah.
I figured, as you're the only two unique individuals in town. Go enjoy yourself. There's another fellow that said he'd be coming by tonight. Go ahead and get yourself a sit down. There'll be a stew out in a moment, as your friend Wara has already ordered. I'll be back, as he turns and flies away.
I telepathy to him and say, who was the individual that said that he was going to be joining us, this fifth person?
Without dropping a beat, you hear Drekken respond in his head back to you, go, Oh, this makes my life much easier. The individual's name, he said something, Raider? He said another name, but it was, I can't want to speak it because I don't want to summon a storm. He said he'd be by soon. Probably within, I assume within a little bit, mentioned something about looking into a shop, I don't know.
Oh, alright.
Please enjoy your meal, and if you don't like the boar, the wolf is also on offer.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
As you feel the connection severed, and he kind of flitters about, handing another giant a very large bowl that is almost as big as he is, and he is struggling to fly with. As you go to find the table in the corner off to the side, where Wara sat down, a cup full of ale, a thick bowl of what looks to be a stew with meat inside of it, kind of sat down. Doots kind of stood off to the side, playing on a small stage as he sings and plays his instrument in the background. The rest of the giants kind of scattered about the table, some paired up with each other. Mostly looking amongst them to be frost giants and a few kobolds, as you kind of notice a couple of them sitting off in one of the corner booths. The bar itself off to the other side seems to be quiet overall. No one's kind of walking over or grabbing any drinks. As Drekken kind of flies about, grabbing from a window that looks to be kind of at the back of the building, where bowls are just kind of being set up into, grabbing and flying about as the music plays. It's quite warm in here, and as it's warm outside, it's not the most comfortable, but at least it's not chilly, as it's been on the cold waves these last couple months. So,
Yeah,
as
I,
you sit down, enjoy yourself. Go ahead.
I just make sure that my left arm, despite being my dominant arm, is not visible to any of the giants that are around.
Oh, as you kind of sit down, give me let's say a hide check for it.
All right. I'm not at my computer at the moment, but I will be shortly.
I mean, I can check your bonus. Give me a moment.
Yeah, it's not great. But you know, I'm wearing a cloak, and I specifically have a sleeve on that obfuscates everything but the tips of the fingers. So.
Give me a second. Party summary. World Anvil's even slower for me today.
It's probably like a +2 or +3, somewhere between a 2 and a 4.
Well, turns out I thought I could check it out. No, I cannot. I get a 404.
Oh. That's weird.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I'll be there shortly.
No worries. Yeah, as you kind of begin to hide it, the rest of you sitting down as you join, Dude's kind of taking a break as he goes to grab a glass of ale and sits on the side of the stage, kind of listening to you lot, but not really sitting at the table as people keep coming over to him and complimenting him on his singing. You lot kind of left alone for a moment. A hefty stew already in front of you, as you see.
Yeah, I'll eat. And I don't really care what kind of alcohol they provide me because I'm immune to poison, so I can't get drunk.
Thankfully, as it's mostly common here, is the red draconic spiced ale, which is a cinnamon and beer-like mixture that is very common amongst the frost giants. Specifically, as Regan Utham is a well-known lover of cinnamon liquors.
Oh, well now.
As I was told, I had to add that bit of lore. I've been paid off to do so, so...
Hey, nah, I can't do that. No, my cook would be very mad at me if I gifted more liquor away.
But as you kind of sit down, with Wara enjoying the food. 16. Yeah, you managed to kind of cover your arm up pretty comfortably, finding yourself a nice little portion of the table where you kind of lean a little bit more closer over towards Wara, allowing your side to be hidden a bit more as you kind of sit there and eat.
All right.
But as you all kind of sit around the table, stew in front of you, you're kind of left to be as Dudes kind of just listens into from the distance, talking to a couple of giants.
All right.
All right. As you quietly eat, enjoying the just company of each other.
Actually, I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Does anybody look down on their luck? Vulnerable, perhaps?
Give me a sense motive.
All right, let's see here. Me and my +4 sense motive. 14.
14. Let me look up something. Yeah, as you look about, you do see a weird-looking creature that kind of catches your attention in the corner of the room. As you look over, you see a strange-looking, let me pull up a picture as it's easier, here, 2 seconds, let me pull up this, there we go. As you see this strange, almost goblin-like creature that sits alone by itself, white-skinned, very nasty pointed ears that are almost bat-like, bits of hair kind of off the top, and a little green eye. Wearing what looks to be simple leathers that are kind of torn up and shredded. He seems to be eating a very watered-down stew in the corner by himself. He is the only one that you catch as you look amongst the other giants who look to be not well off, but as farmers, they look to be eating quite well, as many of them have quite round guts and seem to be quite happy as a few of the younger giants seem to come in and join them as a family. Gathering this town seems to be a bit more close-knit than what you'd expect for a pirate or a good pirate town.
I'd like to go sit next to this guy, see what's what. I want to learn more about him.
Alright, as you walk over and kind of sit down, he looks up at you as you do so, and kind of, as he spits his tongue out a little bit, he looks up at you and goes, "Well, what's your name?"
Well, I am Azorus. What's yours?
Oak.
Olk? Like Oulk?
No, with the big open O.
Oak.
He nods.
You seem down, Oak.
I am.
What's wrong?
I was in the Samog clans as he kind of picks up his bowl and like slowly starts walking over towards where your table of other crew members are, and getting an understanding and looking at you. And he goes, I was working in the Samog lands, and they I got kicked out after the battles kicked off, the war kicked off. There's a big battle in the capital, so I ran here. And then Regan put a big banishment on mongrel folk. He said, "You're an ugly bastard," and kicked me out of the town. I told him, well, I didn't tell him, but, I can't help but think, you look at him in the mirror, that's an ugly face. But, I was kicked out, and, I found myself here kind of looking for work, and, these damn groups coming through here, taking all the jobs, killing all the monsters as they build a road. There's no work for me.
Well, what are your skills, Olk? What can you do?
I'm good at finding things. I spend time in the Underdark charting routes. I'm very good at finding the routes in the Underdark. I draw maps. He kind of pulls out a couple of his small, pouch on his hip that looks like a bag of holding, but has a little stitch pouch on it. Kind of sets as he comes finally over to the table with Wara and Dutes, who's kind of finally sat down and is enjoying a meal while the giants have kind of gone back to their tables. And Oak kind of sets the map out and goes, "These are the Underdark routes of the catacombs and the Pale Eyes Old Hive. I was down there like a day ago." Very dark, but lots of interesting glimmering treasures, just mean people. Mean creatures.
Have you thought about offering your services as an Underdark guide?
The Regans is threatened to kill anybody who does. Something about some fella named Jakix being a threat and saying, all Underdark people are like that and won't hire me. None of the giants seem to trust anybody that's not a giant here.
Do you think you could use your map-making skills above ground to, or at least be able to read maps, navigate?
Nods up and down, affirmative.
Hold on, and I'll fish out the map that I just got. I know you said you chart out. You spent a lot of time charting the Underdark, but do you have, just humor me, have you ever seen any place like this? And of course I show him the map I just got.
He looks at it and goes, Oak see all the time. He kind of nods and goes, you just go to the Mass Dukedom. They have an exact replica of each of this map in each of the Mass Squares strongholds. Big, decorated, drawn out, lots of information.
The mask wearers. Who are they?
Kind of looks up at you with a raised eyebrow and then looks to the rest of your party as if expectingly. Kind of pauses and goes, "Yeah, the leaders, the leaders of the masked dukedom, the ones who run the 5 different clans. They wear the mask of the dragon. Oh, I think there's a dog, fox. I know there's a fox." He nods and goes, you're kidding me. Do you not pay attention to global news?"
Not. I've been at sea for a year. I'm a little behind on news.
Yeah, more, go ahead. Oh, okay. He kind of looks about and goes, "Well, the map, I mean, it's, kind of thinks and goes, they call it the unknown. It's, the former home of the goblins. That's all Ulk knows. Never been well, may have been," as he kind of thinks. He also, as he kind of seems to almost dip in and out of an intelligent speak and then a lack of intelligence, is something that kind of picks up as he continues to talk. He goes, never seen a map personally that looked like this," as he kind of like takes out some markers and starts redrawing it, the islands as one solid chunk, and goes, "This more of what I'm, Oak's familiar with."
Interesting.
Red-eyed monsters live there, though. Not fun.
Red-eyed monsters?
He nods.
Hmm.
You going there?
Well, I've been looking for a place to set up shop, and a place not very well known would be a good place to start. But
You
I'm
set
not
up
sure.
shop there. No one's going to stop you. No kingdom could stop you. That land is for the strong. The strong wild, the untamed, as he kind of smiles and goes, as he kind of steps up onto the table, causing the glasses of ale to shake slightly and the bowls to shake a little bit, and goes, "Oh, where only the believers can stand." As he kind of like looks about and then stops.
What? Wait, what's going on?
He looks down and goes, "You are a believer," as he points at you, "and you will fight on the map."
I'm gonna fight you?
No, go here, as he points on the map, laid on the table in front.
Well, where would you be able to guide us there?
Oh, not strong enough.
To get us there?
If we go, Ulk wants something.
How about a job?
Ulk not looking for a job. Ulk's looking for an item.
What's the item?
Kind of looks about you and goes, I don't, not worth saying to you lot. I don't think saying would be a good idea. But can promise it won't end the world like those weird cursed items across the street.
I don't know. I don't particularly like working with people when I don't know what their aim is.
My aim is simple. Get to this area and find the item I'm looking for. I don't need your help to find item. I just need to get there.
And you said the creatures that reside here are strong.
Red-eyed, yes.
How strong are we talking?
Unclaimed lands. I assume dragons have yet to discover it more than anything, but I have no clue personally. No nation has survived, supposedly, but no nation has been created there, as no map has been created of the place, so, not know. As Wara slowly dozes off again in the background in his chair. The ale completely empty, as you see there are 3 cups kind of set off to the side of it. But Oak kind of looks at you and goes, Oak item is beneficial for home and to get payback on those who wronged Oak in Smog clans. You lot are not friends, but not problem of mine. If preferred, I could just disappear and go on my way.
You know what? How about this? You will get your item. Simple deal. You take us to this island, show us the way, and you are free to go get this item, and it's yours.
Oak looks at you and nods and goes, one more thing. No true names.
I'll smirk at that.
Deal.
He shakes your hand, and you see the name Oak kind of spelled out very plainly in the contract that kind of floats above you as he shakes. It does begin to burn. Azurus, I need you to give me a fortitude save real quick.
Of course.
In a sleeping daze, I sit up straight and go, I am Sage Fuentes! And go back to sleep.
Dirty 20.
God damn it. As the crowd looks over for a moment and just goes back to quietly mumbling.
By the way, for the non-true names, Azorus' name pops up.
Okay. As you finish shaking his hand, you feel a burning on your hand. As you see a strange marking emblazon itself slightly onto it, and you see a mark of a phoenix designed onto your hand. As if burnt there.
So we have an accord. I'll let you know when we leave.
He nods excitedly and goes, "Oh, going to guide you when the time right."
All right.
And he kind of jumps off the chair, takes the bowl, ups it, and swallows what's in there whole, sets it down as he belches, puts 5 silver pieces on the table, and walks out.
Isn't this exciting? Uncharted territory to take for ourselves? Think about it. A Libertalia. A nation of free men. And women.
I nod appreciatively at this.
Give me a sense. Give me a sense motive for it. I'll tell you. Let's see.
All right.
That's the closest I've got. Unless you've got a knowledge that you think would make sense to it.
Let's check
Knowledge goblins.
Knowledge of goblins. Hey man, it's knowledge everyone needs to pick up, even Wara.
My knowledges are Arcana, Religion, Local, and Nature.
Goblins would be local or dungeoneering, depending on the breed of goblin.
I'll say knowledge nature in this situation. I think would be fair, or I'll take a sense motive.
I'll take a
Yeah,
sense
that's
motive
fair.
Okay.
16.
16. This individual is definitely not a fae.
Nice.
However, you are unsure if they are a fiend. As you look down at your book, you do notice the runes on the lock are glowing, and the pages are slightly glowing as well. However, as he leaves the building, they stop.
Alright. So, while I was performing, what did I miss? What did you learn?
Excellent question. We learned about what exactly?
Just about this town.
I will say, as you see the
Going.
dudes,
Nothing's happened in that regard yet.
Just a note, dudes. You do see the map on the table. You do see You do have the item as well as the items that the the other two picked up, just so for your own knowledge to kind of catch you up in the background. Sorry,
Okay.
didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
You're fine.
Deuce's question, I wake up and go, good sellers are Cross Candle, run by Jocks, a kobold. There's Damaged Scrolls, run by Nanan, a Vikinger. Then there's the Frozen Grove, run by Illard the Shaven. Then there's this inn. And then there's Growl's Old Shop, run by Bronze. And I go back to sleep.
Very useful piece of information.
Very useful. I appreciate it. Well, I asked because I'm looking for an individual that happens to bear a resemblance to me. More on the feminine side, though.
Well, actually, in that regard, actually, hold on. First, do you have a name of this individual?
Not one that you will understand.
Are you
I'll-
sure? I mean, we were told about a person named Volthana that came by. Might still be around. They said there was this one person that was quite effeminate looking, that looked similar to you or something of that nature, that had left town for about like 4 months ago.
I thought the feminine one was still in town, and then the other one was an individual who had left 4 months ago too.
Well, that one was also said to look more feminine, as I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So,
With pointed ears.
Mm-hmm.
I will say at the mention of the name of Valthana, my mustache will appear and then quickly disappear.
So about that mustache, is that a name that we wouldn't understand?
Where is she?
The guy at the magic shop said that she was went to a shop a week ago, and that she might still be around, or might not, around in this town specifically.
As Zerst
But,
rolls his drink.
Who knows? I don't know for sure.
I take a look around, make sure no one is looking at me, but the people at my table.
Give me a search check.
Okay.
So I can confirm Wara's not looking at you. Wara's asleep.
25.
25. As you look about, you see that Drekken, kind of the little Eric Cochran that's been floating about, and as the owner of the inn, it has been handing out bowls of food. Seems to kind of look over towards you lot, like looking to see if you need a refill or anything. But kind of as he acknowledges you look like you're fine, kind of goes back to the other customers. The rest of the giants seem to give you a nod as you like eye contact with them, but none of them seem to actually be actively looking or listening at you. It seems to be more of an admiration after you just gotten done singing.
All right. I will take off my coat, place it in my backpack, and from this moment forth, I will take on appearance similar to this as a kobold. I will be a red kobold for the remainder of my time in this city.
Alright, as you watch, Doots transforms into, as a swirl of blue and yellow light kind of go around him, he slowly turns into this kobold. The red scales kind of growing out, his body shrinking slightly, and changing in shape as it comes out and the light dissipates. A few people seem to clap after the light shows over, and you hear a couple of the giants speaking loudly. I wonder how Doots summoned his apprentice. And people are just kind of clapping and kind of go back to what they're doing.
I mutter very quietly and forming to myself about how the giants see themselves as superior to other people. Like hold the fuck on.
Look, so first off, I would, if I happen to know that information, I would become a giant. Problem is I won't grow into giant size. I'll be a 6-foot tall giant. And that's going to raise more questions than answers.
Hey, Goliaths exist and they're medium.
Goliaths are primitive and don't have rights.
That actually makes me kind of surprised on how I've gotten this far, since everyone thinks I'm one.
As Drekken kind of flutters by, he goes, Oh, Captain Azuris, it's because you've got a merchant ship, and we've been told by Regan Utham to respect all that come into his lands. Any of you need a refill, by chance? I guess dudes must have retired for the evening. I'm happy to take care of any tabs if you all are leaving.
Did Doots ring up a tab?
Not yet, but I assume you will be staying in town for a little while, and be buying ale from me, as well as plenty of rations to take with you. As he kind of gives a smile. No? No? Awkward silence? Okay.
I don't know exactly what we'll be purchasing yet. I know I'll probably be staying on my ship in terms of room and board, since, you know, I like being in my own space, personally.
I did not know that, but thank you, Captain Azaris, as he smiles. Feel free if you change your mind. We do have the highest counted of feathered beds, as well as your old, of course, hay beds for those who like a stiffer back. He looks over to the rest of you and goes, would any of the rest of you be staying with us? Is Doots staying on the ship, or is he going to be staying with us?
Master Doots will be staying here. He'll take a room.
Reckon nods and goes, it'll be 5 silver pieces for the week. No, you cannot buy for less. No, I do not charge for less.
I'll hand over 5 silver.
He takes it.
It's actually not that bad of a price.
He nods and goes, yeah, good.
I'll be staying on the ship. I have things I wish to do.
Understandable. If I may ask, are you interested in selling that arm you keep trying to hide? I can't help but notice it, and as a scholar myself, I'd be very much interested in purchasing it.
I've grown quite attached to it. It is not leaving my person while my heart still beats.
Oh, a comedian too. It's rare to see that. I do appreciate it. Well, if you change your mind, let it be known I'd be the first to offer you any price you'd be interested in. He kind of looks over to War and goes, is he just going to sleep in my bar all night?
Probably.
Hey, feather and tar ship.
Sir, please. Mr. Wara, can you, I'm just gonna take the 5 silver pieces from his pocket real quick and save us.
I stand up immediately.
Worst case scenario. Oh, wow, look at that.
Going to the ship, Captain. Good night.
Are you sure, Warren?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be your first opportunity in a year to sleep in a real bed.
Hammock.
He's kind of like,
Hammock.
All right.
he kind of drifts side to side and goes, excuse me, go ahead.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, I have my own bed. It's actually kind of strange that people would rather sleep in a hammock than an actual bed. However, if any of I'll definitely recommend your spot to any of my crew still aboard if they want to find a place to sleep, as well as my other ship that should be coming into port by next morning.
He kind of nods at that and goes, oh, that reminds me. And Drekken flutters over to the door and opens it as he lets Raider in, finally, realizing Raider's been standing up there for like an hour.
Why was he just standing out there?
Come on in. I know. Go. Your crew. The people are here. As he kind of like guides Raider over to your guys' table and sits him down. Kind of sitting a bowl of stew down.
Like, most shops not like non-recognized enter without permission.
Oh, I guess that's fair.
And see Wara stumble through the door off and head out.
I will note he is dressed differently, and he seems to have a spell book now.
Ah, interesting. You got geared up?
Now at City, can use real abilities.
Oh, that's good. Did you get that? Did you put that $7,000 to use?
Yes. You see he's wearing a circlet now as well.
What kind of gem do you got on it, or is it just metal?
It's just metal.
As he kind of sits down, though. Yeah.
Is the map still sitting there?
Map is still sitting there. They've not put it away. The only thing that's changed is water had gotten up, stumbled out of the bar, and headed towards the ship, assumedly.
Well, Raider, I've asked everybody else around. Well, I asked a white-looking goblin, and the person I bought it from. You've probably spent a lot of time traveling. What do you know about this, if you know anything about it?
DM, would you call this history? Yes.
You can give me a history or a knowledge religion if you want to try for that.
My history is so much higher. Let's see. 41.
Damn, yeah. You do recognize the Dark Continent as it is, as well as the famous recent expedition that was launched preemptively that has not returned in the last year. Most people are assuming they are not going to. Supposedly a land that is rumored to be filled with the red-eyed creatures. Your own people are known to even avoid swimming in the waters, as the creatures in the waters around it are affected by these same eyes, noting their magic is boosted to insane amounts.
Would I know roughly how strong the creatures there are?
Magic-wise, caster level average would be around 20 to 30 minimum. CR-wise, you're looking at anywhere between 30 to 40.
Yeah, Azurus sees Raider kind of like eyes widen, he like gulps and is like, no, bad place. No.
Uh-huh.
Well, weakest creature stronger than world leader. No.
Interesting. So they won't come and find me.
Would die if went now.
The greedy look, the light excitement in Zurus's eyes that seemed to almost give a little bit of a fiery appearance to them.
Well, maybe it'd be a very horrible thing to go in there combat-wise, but a few well-placed words can get a man very far in this world. Maybe I'll take some time to prepare for this perilous journey, but...
About how long of a voyage would it be to get there?
I have no idea. Now that goblin might.
Don't know. One group went. A lot of boats. Never seen again.
Dark continent, eh?
Strength. What call Apex more common over there?
Even if we don't settle on the continent, perhaps there's other creatures there that I might be able to bargain with.
No bargain.
Well, that's because no one's tried before. Or at least none have succeeded before.
No talk, swing, kill.
There's a first time for everything, Raider.
Raider just looks at this guy knowing he's going to be killed.
Yeah, I don't like people telling me that there's no hope.
Not no hope. No hope at current ability. Could go later easily.
I will say, Raider, as you do look at the map, you do notice there are little marks on each of the what looks to be like settlements or churches marked on the map. And as you recognize the small little sigils on it, looking at it, you do recognize the house that I just sent you the message of.
But he criminal house noble?
Say that again?
No mark on map. Recognize. Only one known international, think that word, criminal.
criminal.
Name Morin. Something
this-
J?
Chickens.
Yes.
The bar and the tavern goes silent, and Drekken kind of slowly flutters over as the lights kind of flicker for a moment. And as he does, he looks over to you, Azurus, and then kind of like sits down or kind of stands on the table, the other edge of the table from you, Vicaret, and Dutz, and goes, Dutz's kobold form, and goes, "What do you know about that name?"
Oh, that it seems to be a fine prize to be had.
You should be careful, your friends, to speak names that you're not prepared to deal with the justifications of. That name around here is as similar as calling out for Ogarin to take the throne again. It would be like cutting off your knee and your legs and trying to win a race. Keep that in mind, if you will, as he kind of flutters up into the air a little bit.
JM, then. All right. So he's somewhere on this island, or at least his house is. Is that what you're saying?
House of Morin. Yes.
So he hails from this place. Would it be easier for you to talk in your native tongue?
Oh, which one?
Aquan.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier.
Oh, thank God. All right, listen, your common's really great, but sometimes it's a little difficult to understand.
My mouth isn't made for common.
Oh, yeah, just waves crashing. Just...
Oh, sorry, no, that wasn't meant for you, Justin. Let me delete that.
Thankfully, I already knew that.
Yeah, so you know all that stuff. Ignore that. Yeah,
Thank God it's me and not anyone else.
All right, so this Morin guy, with the first name, with the J, you're saying his house is here?
Same name at least.
House of Morin, is that, and that's just for one settlement, or is it for all the settlements?
Damn. Is it just marked in one place, or is it each of them?
It looks like each of them has a sigil almost similar, only slightly varied in their colors.
I just start pointing out each colored sigil, and it's that one, that one, that one, that one.
So maybe sub-houses of Morin?
And probably a split house.
So it's already, So either that there's people there, or it's ruins and, well, he came over here.
I'm almost positive it's ruins. What do you know about the Goblin Nation?
Don't know much about the Goblin Nation. I was just talking to a white one earlier. Said it, his people got chased out after a big battle or something.
Yeah. That group can fight the Apex monsters. Well, they're counted as an Apex monster when together. And they got chased out.
Interesting. Who did they get chased out by? Is it just the creatures on that island, or was there a?
Don't know. I don't know. I've never been.
Vicaret, do you speak Aquan by the chance?
Nope.
Dudes, do you?
No, but I imagine it's just...
So, no, what you hear is the sounds of the ocean tides picking up as the two of them seem to be talking, and it just sounds as if you've ever stuck your ear to a shell and heard the ocean, that's all you're hearing in the background as these two are talking to each other.
It's so great to, hear someone talk in this tongue. It's been quite a couple centuries since I've talked to someone like this.
I will say the strength of monsters I mentioned, those are the ones at the shore. I'm willing to bet things get stronger more inland. Those are the ones that can't even make it seemingly inwards.
Do any of your people have any records of what kind of monsters lie in these waters?
Just the red eyes. My people don't really keep records. I'm kind of an oddity.
Interesting. Well, what about like stories? I assume your people have storytellers.
Well, as Raider kind of starts going through his memories, there's a little more I know, not specific. Gotta understand, ancient stories, a lot's lost. Only fragments remain. Languages change, things are forgotten. Red eyes are the lowest. Something called Black Eye, the strongest, supposedly killed an entire island with one swing.
Interesting. And this this Morin that came here a while back, and he was captured or at least imprisoned by what? The Golden Hearts for quite a period of time, wasn't he? Until he got freed.
Worked for, seemingly. Don't know much. Some rumors about a couple things, but nothing confirmed. One day he just left him.
I wonder how he came to work with them in the first place. Might be something to follow up on. Well, guess we're not going to be heading over there for a period of time, and it's not an undiscovered plot of land that I was hoping for. But I appreciate the information you just gave me, Raider. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I guess we should start talking normally again. I think our language is not very comforting to the locals.
Yeah. In a second, if you need me, I'm going to be raiding one of the many tombs. Not one noted on a quest or anything, but one of the many tombs nearby soon.
Good to know.
As Raider kind of gets up, taking his stew with him, and kind of heads for the door, leaving you with your party once again. Wara still, assumedly on the ship at this point, asleep and drunk.
All right. Anything else, you guys?
As you hear Captain Azur switch back to his normal tongue, Raider kind of stepping away after that and not having spoken another word.
In Faye, I'm going to respond. I would very much love to learn your tongue, but I'll never tell you that.
Huh? You say something? Wait, hold on. No, I don't think I know Faye, but...
Did dude say that out loud?
I said that in Faye out loud, yes.
You learn one day.
Yep, as the multilingual walks out the door.
Okay.
It's like the language just called like Faye.
Yeah, it is literally just a language called Fae. The language of the Fae, as it's referred to, I believe.
I'll talk to the dude and say, in Druidic, I don't know what you just said to me, but if you insulted me, well, fuck you too.
I go to Giant. Oh, okay, so we think we big shit now, huh?
Alright, we're gonna end this here.
And I know everyone in the tavern heard me say that too.
There's a few eyes looking over towards you, but no one's making any moves. Victorette probably, I imagine, kind of sitting there awkwardly as you two kind of argue with each other.
Just in language that we don't each other know.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I should have.
Oh, what are you doing, Victorette?
Yeah, I was seeing if I qualify for a new language yet, and I don't.
Oh, son. As you kind of listening,
you guys speak a whole shit ton of different languages that, and it's funny because I also speak a shit ton of languages. You just didn't happen to get any of the ones that I happen to speak.
Well, please.
Yeah, I know. I got 6
So I
languages
have
in my
no
belt.
idea what you guys are doing.
Yeah, as
so-
you
Yeah.
two kind of argue, as it goes on for a moment, kind of quieting down as people start looking over towards you, kind of sitting back down in your chairs to finish up your stew. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah, no. I think I'm all good. By the way, is this the only like gathering place, like tavern in the city, or is there other ones?
This seems to be the only inn that you saw in the entirety of the town. It looks to be mostly like little huts and such, all around hamlets and such. There
Gotcha.
is a quest board off towards next to the bar where there is a bunch of quests posted up if you are interested.
Yeah. Let's look at the quest board that we haven't looked at before in a different universe that we've never seen before, right, guys?
It's not like you were supposed to be here like 6 months ago. It's like we went on a pirate adventure suddenly right afterwards. Give me a moment and I will repost it.
Because I believe, what we already. Did we already decide, or did we look at the ones that we were thinking about already?
Yeah, we're looking at the ones y'all were thinking about. You gave your deciding on the tomb, or it was either you or Wara that said y'all wanted to do the tomb.
I think I was definitely cool with the tomb, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, as you guys kind of grab a couple of them. Go ahead. Yeah, Vicar, what's up?
I believe I stated that I don't mind either way what we end up doing. It's like,
Thank you, Wara. Okay. Yeah, as
That's what it was.
as Captain Azurus heads over and grabs kind of each of the quests off the board and kind of brings them with him, kind of grabbing the map, rolling it up, and the as he finishes or as he does so, kind of finishing off the last meal as you three kind of follow suit, beginning to head towards the door and head out towards the ship where it's comfortable. Deciding that Dutes. Not a spoiler, full misspeak, making that clear. That was not something I'm intended to make it before someone gets the wrong
Oh my
thought
god!
here.
He's the kicks!
I know that's gonna get
Yeah.
asked.
You're
That
gonna
was
give
a
it away.
full slip of the tongue. That I was looking at a wrong name as I was reading something.
You're ruining my plans,
I
DM.
know. It's a secret behind the entire mustache. It's really Jakix and behind a mustache of disguise, guys.
Fucking
No. As you as the two of you head toward, or as all three of you head towards the ship, kind of heading there to get a little bit of privacy and begin your planning before the night or before the rest of the day takes hold. Expecting that you'll be doing a little research on some of these quests as you do so, you head back at the and wait for the trolls and crew to kind of gather so you can start picking and figuring out what options and what quests may be available and what information that they may have. As you lot begin to gather around and plan this, around the afternoon at this point, we're going to end session there with the party spending the rest of the day. They'll get one free action each to spend in town doing something or on the ship. We thank you all for watching. We hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you next time when the party takes on whatever quest they pick.